Okay, so as you have seen, we have actually two batches of pitches going on. The first one is just going to be finished this week. So tomorrow we know the last 3 winners of the first 12. And we got more than 300 submissions for the first 4 topics. And today we have the best 9 out of 74 for the future cloud topic. But before we start now to actually listen to all the pitches, I would like to introduce to you the jury which we have here today. First of all, we have Anna Rodermann, who is from Arenates Capital Partners. We do have Björn Hofstadius, who is the business developer we just saw. Then we have Jakob Hessler, who is the co-founder of Tiny Clues. Janne Järvinen, who is the director of F-Secure from Finland. We have Joe Weinman, who is actually an author, GigaOM research analyst, and the chairman of the IEEE Future Cloud Intercloud Testbed Executive Committee. Then we have Praveen Paranjoti from the EIF. Stéphane Amager, who's the French node director from the TICT Labs. And we have Tua Homo, of course, who's the action line lead of the future cloud topic. And finally, we have Will Cardwell, who's a VC expert from Aalto University. So now just some practical things. The pitches are all going to be 5 minutes. After that, we will have 4 minutes of Q&A and 1 minute for transition. Over here, we have Armand, who has got the timer, and he's going to give some signs to the pitching party, and I will keep track of the Q&A afterwards. The Q&A will be done by the jury because we only have 4 minutes, so this will not be enough time to actually answer questions from the audience as well. But I guess after the pitches, the teams will be happy to answer any other questions from 7 onwards. So, but I'm not going to talk for any longer. I just want to ask the first team up here, which is Agroptima. Please give it up for them.
Hello.
Hello? In a previous startup, we were in touch with lots of farmers, and we asked them what was the most painful problem they have. Most of them said, we need modern management tools. So what is exactly the problem? Professional farmers with big farms are managing them with Excel sheets and very old-fashioned softwares. On the other hand, there is a lot of data available nowadays coming from sensors in fields, tractors, weather forecasts, etc. For example, a modern tractor gathers data like fuel consumption, fertilizer dosing, etc. But all this data is not centralized and gets lost. Agroptima is the solution. Agroptima is an agricultural cloud and a farm management tool. With it, farmers will be able to increase efficiency by 1, having access to real-time data, and 2, having a management tool to process this data to make better decisions, increase productivity, and save costs. This is the interface for the farmer. It's a very easy-to-use website and a mobile app. Here, farmer will be able to manage the farm, get reports, analyze tractor performance, get recommendations based on data sensors, etc. And how does it work? We have 2 clouds. The main cloud stores user information and collects data from other clouds like weather server or the second cloud. And the devices cloud collects data from sensors deployed in field, tractors, irrigation controllers, etc. It also controls their status and is able to reprogram them over the air. These devices are connected to the cloud through machine-to-machine solutions that use GPRS or 3G networks. Our revenue comes from a monthly fee, and we have different plans for different farm sizes. And how big can this get? Our focus now is on medium and small-sized farms in Europe, which accounts for about 5 million farms.
Our vision is to dramatically increase the competitiveness of agriculture and farmers. For this, we have a plan. We have a team in place. I am the CEO, Ferran is the CTO, and Anicia is our agricultural engineer and our foot on the fields. Recently, a cloud expert and a mobile expert just joined our team. We are developing our solution with Agroigualada, which is a cooperative of farmers with more than 600 farmers. This is the first version of our solution that is a result of many sessions, like you see in this picture, where we are meeting with the farmers and developing the solution with them to be able to bring them the most value. We are aiming at launching in September, and in early 2015, we will start connecting the devices. So what do we have so far? We have 50 farmers waiting for our product. We have closed partnerships with 3 farmer associations in Spain with more than 200,000 farmers. That will be a great platform, a distribution platform for us in the future. And we have also closed a partnership with a cluster of agriculture machinery to be able to connect the tractors with the cloud. Finally, we've received awards in Berlin by Hubraum of Deutsche Telekom and by University of Lleida, top-notch university for agriculture in Spain. At the moment, we are in a very critical moment for our startup, and winning the idea challenge would be really a great step ahead for us. We will invest the prize in developing our product further and in marketing and sales. Also, accessing the network of EIT ICT labs will help us access the telecom partners that we need to close M2M contracts. And finally, to launch Europe-wide. We are building the future of agriculture. Help us make it possible.
So, thank you very much on time, perfect. So, any questions from the jury? Will.
Going back to the subscription fees for small farms, what's the ROI for a farmer based on kind of the revenue and profit margins that they currently have and the operational improvement that this will achieve?
Sorry, can you repeat again? I didn't get it.
What's the value to farmers in terms of the percentage improvement in yield, how profitable that yield is given the fees? Is it like completely inconsequential fees, basically?
So we want to have a pilot installation. We are still developing the product, and we'll have a pilot to measure this. So these values are based on a poll that we are running, and is based on how the farmers, or what farmers think that should be reasonable to pay for a solution like this. So it's not really based on ROI. We want to measure this, but we will do this later on with our pilot.
So the fees are low, but also do you have a sense of the percentage improvement that, in other words, should a farmer be excited about this because it's a 20% improvement in yield, or is it a 0.003% improvement?
Yeah, we have looked at reports that say that tools like this with algorithms giving recommendation to farmers on exact things to do in the field can save up to 10 to 20% of resources. It can be in water, in phytosanitary products, in chemicals, fertilizers, and obviously we are saving them a lot of time because we are not only providing value of the sensors and the precision agriculture, but also a farm management tool. I hope that answers the question.
So what are the critical challenges in adoption of this service from the farmer? Do they have the necessary technical skills and to also have to take concrete actions based on your recommendations to be able to save the cost that you just mentioned?
We are aware that our target group might not be that tech-wise, so that is one biggest challenge. In the beginning, though, we are focusing on the part of the market that is more tech-wise. Therefore, farmers that have background education on farming. At the moment, we are carrying out this poll, and all the people who are answering this poll, we've seen that 80% of them are farmers with education. We mean an engineering or advanced education about this. And they also have, all of them have internet in their phones. Then we also want it to be very, very easy for them to understand the platform. So once we give them a recommendation, it should be that everyone understands. It doesn't have to be very technical. So that would be the major barrier for us.
Okay, and one last question, a short
Okay,
answer.
so one, hopefully short, but the system you envision requires a lot of system integration. How do you plan on rolling out and scaling that?
So we will, let me go back to the slide. We will start only with the part you see on the top left of the screen, which is pure cloud and software solution, and then we will start with the second part, which is the devices. With this one, we will first integrate third-party devices that are already on the market and have available APIs or other ways to gather this data. We will also measure what is the percentage of usage of these devices to try to cover the most wide possible amount of devices with the less effort. This is our strategy, and we obviously will have to go step by step. This will require time because it's a very fragmented market, but this is the strategy, go step by step and trying to go from big to small.
Okay, thank you very much, you two.
Thank you.
Then, yeah, give it up for them once again. So next one is Karlstads, and this is from Finland, represented by Varun. So please give it up for Varun.
So video is everywhere. It's available in many forms today. It's the dominant traffic on the internet. And video calling, even though a small fraction of the internet traffic, is largely emerging. Currently, there are about 3 or 30 companies providing video calling service such as FaceTime and Hangouts and Skype. But due to standardization of core technologies in web-based real-time communication, or commonly called WebRTC, we are seeing that in the coming years, this number of companies using video in the browser are going to increase from 3 to 30 to 30,000. And the market is expected to grow from $1 billion today to about $10 billion in 2017. But common to all these companies is the frustration of bad user quality. And either companies can employ large engineering teams such as Google and Skype do, which take care and deliver high quality video, or people or companies can rely on users reporting bad user quality, like calling up their ISP or calling up their customer, their internet service provider, or the service that's they're using via email. But the first one's not scalable for the 30,000 companies, as in 30,000 companies cannot have large engineering teams. And the second part of writing emails or gathering statistics is not scalable for the internet. So today, in the spring of 2014, we launched our first product called callstats.io. It does measure, diagnose, and fix problems in real time for our customers. We are a B2B solution where our customers are services providing video as a service or use video in innovative ways. Some of them are such as productivity apps or telemedicine, customer service. We also have 2 partners, such as the internet service provider. One very large American ISP is using our service in their test bed. And we're integrating with one equipment manufacturer so that we can access the ISPs with their products. So currently we have 10 companies which are using our service, and we have 100 companies in waitlist. We are a subscription model where we cater for the lower end of developers and startups, and for the enterprise market we have a larger $1,000 monthly subscription cost. In the last 3 months alone, we have, with our 10 customers, we have analyzed about 1.5 million calls, which is roughly 1 call every 3 seconds. So in the duration of the talk that I'm giving right now, there would be 100 calls that we would have analyzed in this period. So where is our competition? Our competition has 20 years of experience doing in-network monitoring. That means they've been selling boxes to service providers, but typically they're not over the top. So people like developing web technologies cannot use them because they don't really need the boxes. The second is that they've been doing audio codecs. So they've been only handling voice calls. Video is a game changer. It's not been there in the past, and it's just emerging as of today. So on one side, we have companies like AudioCode, Dialogic, which have recently announced that they provide their support for WebRTC, but they come from the audio direction, while we as CallStats, we are video cloud monitoring. So our team is, we are a team of 4 with 45 years of experience, many years in standards. We are evangelists of WebRTC and have been contributing to WebRTC standards in the IETF and the W3C. We have done several startups before. For some of us, it'll be the 3rd or the 4th startup, which means that we are not novices in this area. So to top it, I leave you with 4 numbers. One, since the beginning of this year, we've spent 0 in sales and marketing and have 10 beta customers already. We've analyzed 1.5 million calls in the last 3 months, and in this period, we've been offered to be acquired 2 times by 2 companies in the US with more than 100 million in venture funding. So with that, I would say thank you and open the floor for questioning.
Thank you. So again, very much on time. Any questions from the jury? Yes. So where's the mic? Yeah. Please go
Hey,
ahead.
thanks. Okay, so when you do the analysis, what is the actionable on the customer side? What do they do with it?
So there are 2 parts to it. So one is that since we're a cloud service and we're gathering a lot of data, and this is HTML5, we can push some of these things back to the endpoints in real time. So we gather their data, analyze it, and push it back without any interruption or even identifying or even telling the ISP or our service providers that we did something. They can go and see what we did. So there's some automatic aspects to it. There are some parts which we cannot really do. So about 30% of the problems we can do automatically. 70% of the issues, which may range from like some peculiarity, what we do is we offer a dashboard. On the dashboard, they can look at, for instance, let me show you. So you can have something like failed calls, relayed calls, poor quality, and these things are clickable. So you can then drill down into specific metrics and see which customers, if it's the same customer, facing continually the same problem, or is it different customers facing the same problem, and then you can actually try to segment them or cluster them. Are they coming from the same ISP, same region? Are they all based in Africa, or they're based in South America, and things like that. So we provide a dashboard which helps them.
So follow-on question to that, basically is you can do monitoring, and obviously running from the cloud is advantageous in the sense that there's no setup intervals to deploy your service. But on the other hand, you're competing against in-network equipment you pointed out, which presumably can do not just monitoring, but root cause analysis and all the diagnostics around exactly where the issue may be.
Right.
So do you have hooks in for that, or
Yeah, we have, so
can
that's
you
where
effectively control?
that's where we are integrating with some key equipment manufacturers which sell in the ISPs, and they're integrating parts of our technology so that we can get more robust information, not only from the endpoints, but also from the in-network. While I'll point out that companies that sell in-network presume that the problem is in that network, right? So you cannot do a root cause analysis if the problem's elsewhere. And that's where the cloud really helps, because you can have this vision of getting information from disparate ISPs, especially if you're to believe in the magic of WebRTC. If you see a call originate in India and end up in South America, transiting over Europe, you're going through very many internet service providers, not just one. And in the past, it made sense to sell to ISPs because the calls were routinely inside the network, right? So you were calling locally or within a geographical area where the ISP had more control or had more peering agreements with each other.
Okay, Kiana?
My question is simple. What do you want to do as a company?
So we start here where we do, so that's why the vision was there. So the vision is simple, bringing high quality of experience to every interaction. So we start with video calls. We can go to things like Netflix and YouTube. Given all the problems that Netflix seems to be having with Comcast and Verizon, we think that we have solutions that at least this part of the technology can be reused. There needs to be some more monitoring aspects that need to be considered in this case, especially with CDNs, for instance.
So what are your financial ambitions?
To rule the world? No. What do you mean? Could you elaborate a bit?
Yeah, yes, in 5 years from now, what would you achieve as a goal for revenues or whatever?
So our vision for this year has been that we need to actually expand to more of the 100 waitlist that we have, start converting the 10 customers that we already have, which have expressed intent to pay for the service. We believe that in the next year or 3 years, we believe we're going to monitor this WebRTC and see how it grows. If the vision of 30,000 companies is going to be realized, we want to be at the forefront of that process. And that's why we actually are part of the IETF standardization body, where we work with congestion control so that the video comes out very well from the beginning. But we also provide hooks, because we are part of the standardization process, that we can, that's our unfair advantage, because we put the technology in, provide the hooks, and then build a service that uses that hook, right? So our vision is to be at the forefront of this in the next 5 years and start from WebRTC and move to every aspect of communication.
Okay, thank you very much. So next one is LeanXK. You can also have a handheld microphone if you want. LeanXK is also from Spain, and Ricardo is going to present it right now.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to talk about the pains that enterprises are facing today to manage cloud data. One of them is that currently enterprises, they manage their data in two different systems. One is called a transactional database, where they keep their data fresh and updated. And the other is the data warehouse, where they can perform fast analytical queries. Because they are two different systems, you need to copy from one to the other in the so-called ETL process. However, this process is very expensive. It's estimated to be 80% of doing business analytics. That is a total nonsense, because it would be like going for a dinner of 200 euros and then paying 800 euros for the taxi. So what we're doing is merging these two systems in a single system, integrating system, and because we can scale transactional processing as much as we need, we're able to do the analytics on top of the fresh data. And therefore, we offer real-time analytics, and no more details are needed, and we can save this 80% from the cost of doing business analytics. Another major pain is the scalability of transactional databases. in clouds that currently you don't have any offering for this. And this is a big pain because you have to share the database, split the database into pieces. And as Google reports in a paper they wrote recently, this is very expensive. It took them 2 years to do the last iteration over the shared MySQL F1 database. We would have saved them 2 years if we had the system by that time. So another major issue that enterprises are challenging is that they are combining different data management technologies like NoSQL data stores, completion processing, and so on. The major pain that they have is that because they are disparate systems, whenever there is a failure, now you might be updating one data store and then do not have time to update the other, and then they lose the consistency. So this is very painful for them. So we're integrating our platform with the most relevant NoSQL technologies, and then we are providing full ACID transactions across all data stores, and then you don't have any consistency problem anymore. And this can help to reduce significantly the size of the teams to maintain and develop these systems. Additionally, we have integrated our technology with Storm that is able to process millions of events per second. And with this combination, we are able to correlate millions of events per second with the stored data. And we think that is the perfect platform to develop the next generation of Internet of Things and machine-to-machine applications. Another major feature of our platform is that we scale efficiently. I didn't know that Peter would be here. And today many systems are scaling efficiently. In fact, Google has a system called Spanner, but it requires more than 1 core for doing a transaction per second according to their paper. So we are able to do like 20 times better in terms of resource usage. What is our offering? Our offering is basically an integral real-time analytics platform. So we are providing an ultra-scalable full SQL, full ACID database. We are providing big data analytics on top of this data by means of full SQL. And we are providing polyglot integration for integrating the most relevant NoSQL data technologies, and with complex event processing. In terms of competition, there's some trying to scale out the OLTP. The lab part is very crowded, but doing real-time analytics, there are just a few companies that are trying to do that. But the part that is not done yet is integration with the NoSQL data technologies and with complex event processing. Why? Because it requires to scale a lot, and it's what we do. So we don't expect that we will get much competition in that field. So the market size is very big. We are talking about $80 billion. We think that the accessible market for us can be up to a couple of $1 billion, so pretty big. So in terms of software revenues, we will be doing licensing in the first place, and when we feel that the platform is mature, we will be offering it as a service. We have been working with a very large client, that is the Santander Bank. They have been helping us a lot. In fact, they devoted 3 key people of the company to us to accelerate us and fill enterprise gaps. And we are working also with other big companies. In particular, Accenture, I think, is very important because it will allow us to discover which are the verticals where we can accelerate. In terms of status, we have already beta for the transactional part, and then we will be delivering the beta for the other parts in the next few months.
So can you please wrap it up?
Just finish. So this is our commercial slogan for the questions.
Okay, perfect. So thank you. Again, questions? Yes, Jakob? Oh, sharp.
Have you heard of in-memory analytics? And does this have anything to do with in-memory?
So the memory part is orthogonal. I didn't have time to go into detail. Currently, we are using as a storage engine HBase. Okay. So if you have enough memory, everything will be fitted in memory. But we are developing now a new key value data store that is designed to be in memory, and we can be like 1 order of magnitude more efficient than by relying on HBase. But it's an orthogonal topic that we are exploiting.
Okay, but what I mean is that you said you were doing analytics on OLTP. That's not exactly right, because you're staging the data anyways with HBase.
No, we are doing analytics on the fresh data. So we have transactional database, okay, full asset. And then the analytics are simply another queries that we are running on this. For this, what we have is an OLAP parallel engine that is collocated with the region servers. And then we can parallelize the queries to do analytical
so
queries.
If you do that, it's a classic thing you're doing, right? Well, I don't understand how this is original. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't get your point.
The original part is the scalability of the transactional system, and then we are combining this with analytics.
So maybe we go on with the next question. I think it was Jakob who was first. Can you? Yeah. Okay.
My question is, when do you think will you have what is in slang language referred to as a minimum viable product? And do you have an idea of what it would look like?
There are different parts of the product, as I mentioned here. So we have already beta for the ultra-scalable transactional processing. This is starting to be used by our prospective clients. We'll have the analytics. We already have a prototype, and we expect to have a beta by fall or end of the year. And then at this point, it will be fully usable, let's say the real analytics part. And then the other parts will come along next year. So it depends on which part you want. If you want this, we already have a minimum viable product. If you want these two, it will be by the end of the year.
Your idea is your first real customer would consider this is a product, it's in and on itself a product I buy, and I would continue buy beyond being a beta user. That's sort of, when does it switch from being a beta to, yes, this is a real product, I would subscribe to buying it, or I would buy a regular licensing fee for it? What is the time, how much time would you need, or what would it look like?
So I think that by the end of the year, this will be happening already. Because we have already been working on this for 5 years. So by the end of the year, we will be already using this on client premises with real applications, and by then we should be ready.
Anna?
I have two questions. What kind of evidence you have for this ultra scalability? So how much you have tested it for? And the other one is that what is your target market? It seems that you can do many things with this technology, but what is really the sweet spot for your technology,
so
in market-wise?
Okay, so in terms of scalability, basically what we are running is a benchmark, industrial benchmark that there for the scalability of transactional system. We are running TPCC, and we are running this extensively. It's part of our regression test. We are running performance every time, and there's where we see how much we can scale and how we compare with other products that is out there, like SAP HANA. So we know how do we do with respect to SAP HANA to do these statements. The second question was?
That you can do many things with this technology, but what really is your target market? So what is the sweet spot for this technology?
So as for every startup, this is a discovery process. So that is why we have this offering. We will try to penetrate the best we can in as many markets as we can. So initially we start with the real-time analytics, but we will be exploring also Internet of Things and other verticals applications. We will discover in the way.
Okay, one last very short question and answer.
So anyway, it's maybe a little bit more technical. I still don't understand. Are you providing a full, actually thinking about replacing the OLTP platform that company have, or is this actually then going to run in parallel with what companies already are running in-house?
So,
very short answer, please.
So it will happen on both things. So the data migration study is always difficult. That is why we are looking into new areas. So one is the Internet of Things and machine to machine, that there are new applications, so you don't have to migrate data. The other thing is the data lakes that for Hadoop cluster that enterprises are starting to adopt. And there we can provide this combined with the access to Hadoop files, so you can also query and correlate Hadoop files with their stored data here. And then the NoSQL part, that because there is also by early adopter, we think we can penetrate very well there.
Okay, this has to be enough for now. Next one is Player from the UK, and Ashraf is going to present this once he's ready.
Hello, my name is Ash, and today I'm here to present to you Player and our real-time creation technologies. Now, if you want to create a game or an app today, there are so many platforms to support. There's so many devices, and getting them to the app stores is a real pain. Every single time you make a design change, you have to recode it. Every single time you recode it, you have to recompile it. Every single time you recompile it enough times to distribute it, you have to get it through the walled gardens of hell. And you have to do this for every platform. Now, what we're proposing is super easy creation tools where anyone, UI kids, can learn how to create their own games and apps visually, interactively, based on awesome game templates. And we have some magic sauce to make this possible. We runtime convert HTML5 into native to allow you to do really cool graphics on mobile devices. And we runtime stream this source code to any device, which means when I change a line of code instantly, the screens have changed. This enables collaboration in a new way. Now, I've had VCs tell me that what we're making is impossible. I've had judges tell me that's too good to be true. But in fact, we're in public open beta right now. We've had over 1 million game sessions played, 20,000 players per month. And over the past 3 months, we've doubled our new signups. And we've started working on our partnerships. Next week, I'm going to British Gas. They called me up. They said they want to use Player for their gamification strategy. I'm working with a cool ADHD use case with the University of Southampton. And 2 of the biggest games companies, Zynga and Ubisoft, game designers and game producers, have actually signed up to try our software out. Whoa, it's big for us anyway. Now, we're focused on the educational space because it's close to our heart. Now, this space is 8 trillion market size. However, the innovative software space is 70 billion. In this space, you've got cool guys like Code Academy, venture-backed, who teach how to write source code. You've got guys like Unity, where you can create some really visually stunning applications. It's a bit hard to use though, not really for kids. And Scratch, it's super easy, except the quality is really low. We want to fit in between those spaces. Now, looking at Scratch, they have 3 million registered users, except the quality, like I said, it's really basic images. We're coming in there, 3D, multiplayer, monetization support, so you can actually make money from the games that you make. This is a big motivation for kids who want to make the next Flappy Birds. And we're going to really fuel this ecosystem with templates, just like WordPress. You can actually create a racing game using our template, and etc. And we're going to make money, taking a share of the advertising, taking a share of the user-generated content, which is one of the biggest trends in gaming today. Who are we? We're a very small team. Only 15 years of industry experience, but AAA. We've got BAFTAs in our previous projects, we've got patents in our previous projects, we've actually published industry standard books. And we've partnered with some really good mentors. One of them, he's a serial entrepreneur and investor. He's co-invested with VCs like Sequoia. So we're really confident in our case. And over the past year, we've won and been shortlisted for numerous awards. And in fact, we presented this technology at some of the biggest conferences in the world, including SIGGRAPH, the biggest graphics conference, where we presented in the same session as speakers from Google, Microsoft, and Disney. Now, we are here today because we see this real-time code streaming technology being applied not just in education, but in several software verticals. In advertising, when you get your results from your A/B split testing, you can apply these changes in real time across the app stores. In banking and security, whenever there's a zero-day hack, you can release a zero-day bug fix, like that. Another case, brain training. This is a niche market. The leading impact player has 300 million in investment, and they have 40 scientific games. We didn't know about this, we found this out. We're partnering with the leading expert in brain psychology in the UK. We can create an infinite number of tailored games specific to the user, and actually real-time tweak it depending on the EEG neural feedback results that we get from the game. Now, this is news, groundbreaking. University of Southampton, they're going to get us the funding, not us. We are raising seed round. We're talking with some angels at the moment, an angel network, so we have some potential exits for you. So guys like Sequoia, I met them in Singapore. They said if we get to 1 million users, they'd want to Series A us. And of course, when we destroy Lumosity's market, they're going to be coming for something. But at the moment, we're a really small, bootstrapped company. We're all working from home. But we'd really love your support to take this to the next level. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, I guess there are questions again. Praveen, yeah.
Hi, it's a good presentation. My question is, what's the barrier that you're building up for any of the competitors to basically reproduce what you're doing? So what's that ultimate barrier that's going to make you a leader?
So we're trying to build up a community around real time. Today, we're actually leading this space in the industry. We've presented at the top conferences showing who we are. The other technologies like Unity, they'd have to rewrite their entire platform to make it real time. Scratch, they're trying to build a mobile solution. However, it's not real-time based. It's nothing to do with our big future, big vision. However, in education, I'm sure if you funnel enough money, you can get a copycat service. This is where one of our target milestones is to file patents around this use case. And it's on one of these screens here. So we've already thought about how we're going to protect our IP.
So what would be the impact if you would win the prize?
I mean, to be honest, we're all working from home at the moment. My biggest motivator is actually get some office space so we can have these meetings. I've got a virtual address, which is a bit dodgy, but that's our biggest motivators. And to bring some of our top guys, I mean, we've got contributors, principal programmers from Microsoft and France Telecom, and they want to jump on board. However, we can't afford them at the moment. If we can get this prize money and say, look, dudes, we're going somewhere, can you join us? That would really help us out.
So I'm trying to figure out, because you covered a lot in a short time, obviously.
Sorry.
Trying to figure out the core technology. Is it actually something around graphical content creation, or is it the real-time code streaming, or both and more? How would you position it, and what's the implication as far as actually how the business will grow, beyond gaming 5 years from now?
I see is real-time code streaming and optimization as a very big thing. I mean, there's mobile cloud coming, and we can actually distribute this to, I've talked to investment bankers in which their biggest pain point is getting the latest algorithms out, deployed on the servers, to react to the market. Not how fast the algorithm runs, but getting it to the servers. With real-time, they can get it like that. So this is a case where we think this is a really big case, and we're working with a UK Catapult. It's a big billion-dollar fund in the UK, picked on certain fields, but we see our biggest moneymaker is real time. However, because we love education, and it is a big proof of concept, if we can actually show these tools running, if you can use an iPad to instantly make an Android game, this is a big proving factor. So when we go to the banks, we say, hey, it actually works, and we've got 1.5 million games already been played. So I'd love your advice though, to be honest, because, I talk too much. Sorry.
Okay, any other questions right now?
I will hug the next questionee.
Okay, so then that's it for this presentation. Next one is Secure Beam, and this one's from Austria. Okay, so Martin is from Austria, and he's going to present Secure Beam.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Hi, my name is Martin Rasko. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SecureBeam, and I want to begin with a short question. How many of you are using Dropbox? How many of you run consequently out of space in your Dropbox, or out of free space? Cool. That's exactly what are we facing. There is a limited space in free cloud storage providers, but there is also the cloud storage is coming up. There are different cloud storage to solve that problem. For example, Google Drive is providing 10 gigabytes of free space. Dropbox is providing 3 gigabytes of free space. And Box is providing even more. SkyDrive is providing even more. So every of these single cloud storage providers are competing with free cloud storage space. But as a consequence, as there are more and more cloud services coming up, your data is scattered across different cloud storage providers. For example, Dropbox is great for sharing pictures, for uploading videos, for collaborating on pictures and sharing pictures online with your friends. Google Drive is perfectly for inline editing, documents and Excel sheets or everything else. Box is very prominent in the enterprise features. Voila is very well known for security. They're hosting their own data centers in Switzerland, and they're protecting your data pretty insanely. But the third problem is that there is no personal encryption. Everybody's encrypting their files before storing it in their own backends. You have no control over your data. You have no personal encryption keys. You have no personal keys that are stored on your device, on your endpoint. And that is exactly what SecureBeam is here to change. The solution is that we are encrypting the files right on your smartphone or right on your browser. We splitting the file, each single file, to 33% for your Dropbox, 33% to your Google Drive, and 33% for your Box, for example. So after the encryption right on your smartphone, the data is split on different cloud stores, and each single chunk is going to Dropbox, Google Drive, or SkyDrive, for example. But once it is up there in the cloud, there's even more. You can share it easily, you can share the pointers, you can send messages, and the other collaborator is able to download it, merge it directly on their smartphone, and decrypt it on their smartphones. We are zero knowledge provider. We have no knowledge of data that is sent through the clouds. We just provide the infrastructure and provide the software itself. So the third part we are concentrating on is a very lean and easy user interface. Right on your smartphone, you add a file, you swipe it, you share it with your contact, and once you share the file, the whole key distribution is managed in behind, and you are able to start an encrypted chat. So we also provide kind of a WhatsApp in your Dropbox. You share the files, you swipe the files, and you just collaborate in an easy chat. So our vision is to provide a smart way to connect all cloud storages securely for 50 million users by the end of 2015, which is very visionary, but we are working hard on that, and this is exactly for what we need the money. And of course, our business model, we don't earn money if you just stick to the free version. We're going freemium. That means the basic function connecting just Google Drive in your Dropbox is for free, but when you want to add a third cloud, we charge you 1.69 euros, and each additional cloud is 50 cents per year. But there is even more. In the premium version, you have a redundant backup solution. That means when of the three clouds, for example, Dropbox, Google Drive, and SkyDrive is going offline, you're still able to download the content as you're doing some kind of RAID system in the clouds and split the chunks redundantly, so you're able to download the files even from 2 out of 3 connected cloud storage services. So the roadmap is to provide an Android and an iOS version by July. For Android, we are currently in the public beta, so you're free to sign up and get the app right on your smartphone right now. By the third quarter, we are preparing to integrate the premium version with 6 clouds at the beginning, and by 2015, we are aiming to start the B2B channel. So this is our team. We are very lean. We are very bootstrapped. We are very small. We are 2 guys. I'm the technical part, and my co-founder is the economic part, and we have an advisor who is doing the marketing and the networking. So this is SecureBeam, and thanks you for your attention.
Let's go. So again, questions from the jury. Anyone? Yeah, Will.
Thanks. So what kind of deals do you need with the end cloud providers?
We are struggling for affiliate programs, for example, to help Google Drive to sell more customers, or to help Dropbox to get more customers, because we are here to go really on the end consumer side and have users which might not be testing or might not be using Dropbox alone.
But what about when you move from free to the premium? Do you have an issue there with the once you commercialize the free cloud?
It's an in-app purchase. So you just have the app, the freemium version, and then you pay it, and you are able to connect the third part. And when you go premium, you have also the access to the redundant backup solution.
Yeah, building on that, why would someone who is sufficiently careful to split his files between Dropbox, Google Drive, etc., in order to avoid paying a fee, pay you a fee?
Yeah, very good
Is
question.
there not a and could you not get paid by someone else?
Of course, sure. Very good question. Because we provide a single unified user interface to that. And when you spread files on Dropbox or on Google Drive and technically split it, to be honestly, it's not that hard to accomplish. But you need to manage your tools. You need to manage it. You need to keep it redundant. And that is exactly what we do. So we just add that automation in encrypting the file, sharing the keys, chatting functionality, and splitting and merging the whole chunks among the different clouds.
So we talked about net neutrality before, and you're making money off of free services. Do you think that it will still, that they will let you do that?
Well, we hope so. But to be very honest, we don't think that we make money on the end customer side. Whereas the money is on the business side, and this is exactly where we need the support. Because on the business side, we want to enable customers, enable small and medium-sized enterprises to share their files. We are seeing companies that have the pain that their actual users are using Dropbox, but their internal policies are neglecting to integrate their Dropbox content into their own file systems, and that is exactly what we're trying to solve. We're trying to build some kind of intermediate between public clouds like Dropbox, Google Drive, and Box, and to SharePoint. So in company storage solutions like own cloud or SharePoint, and between these two worlds, we're trying to connect.
So. I love the idea. It's like Cassandra meets random linear coding. So the whole notion of kind of taking things, dividing them up into chunks and encrypting them is terrific. But from a business perspective, it seems to me that a lot of the cloud providers have more noble goals in life than merely offering free storage for people that are intermediaries. And so it's all about integration with applications like, for example, Excel or parts of Office or Google Apps or what have you. And so aren't you, in effect, at the risk of the notion that the provider's total portfolio that includes cloud storage services, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, will offer a more compelling value proposition than merely kind of being a repository for encrypted chunks?
Great question. Yeah, absolutely. On the midterm, we see the strategic envision of being an intermediary between different public cloud stores. As you already mentioned, Dropbox, for example, is very good in sharing photos, or Google Drive is great on doing some editing. And when you decide on a customer side that you don't want to encrypt stuff, we can also provide the flexibility to provide a single point of integration for your cloud storages. And once you, for example, upload an Excel file, we match that for the perfect cloud storage, whichever that is in future, to the perfect cloud storage solution. For example, Excel goes to OneDrive or Google Drive. Pictures go to Dropbox. But in case to be not encrypted, so we are flexible with that, and we can remove the encryption for that to be completely compatible with all the cloud storage providers.
Okay, thank you very much. So give it up for him once again. So next one is Stimergy, and this is actually a startup from France, and Christophe is going to present it.
So, wait, I'm sorry.
So good afternoon, everybody. Do you hear me well? Yes, that's fine. Okay, perfect. I'm very glad to be here and to have the opportunity to present to you Symposium. Symposium is a company that reinvents data centers, recycling all the energy consumed by our servers for the buildings. Data center, the company started 1 year ago on the statement that the internet is consuming more and more energy. Data centers which are running the internet are responsible worldwide of as much carbon dioxide consumption emission in the atmosphere as half the airplane industry. On the other side, Europe has engaged through its climate and energy package to reduce by 20% its energy consumption by 2020. Like trees recycle carbon dioxide from the air into oxygen, Symergy recycles the heat of its servers for hot water production. We do this thanks to our data furnace. Our data furnace consists in servers which are immersed in fluid. This fluid collects all the energy consumed by our servers and stores it in a water tank. This water tank is then connected to a hot water production system, and we can say we are the only company in Europe that recycles 100% of the energy consumed by our servers all year long. Interconnecting all these data furnace with optical fiber, we create a distributed cloud. This distributed cloud will have very nice properties, like it will have very high availability, it will have a very low latency, and it will of course consume no final energy. What we are selling is we are selling our data furnace to our partners like boiler operators, and these boiler operators are buying our data furnace, installing them in their heating rooms, and maintaining our data furnace. In exchange, they get free energy, free heat from our servers. Symergy is paying the electricity, of course. Our main revenue is coming from software editors, for example, that are very sensitive to the high availability of our infrastructure. Not only we have a very high availability infrastructure, but we have also a very low latency infrastructure, and we can achieve very low, very competitive costs. So by now we have already installed our first data furnace 1 year ago, which is very well working, and we can say that we can cover up to 60% of the energy needed for hot water production in a residential building of 100%. So it's 60% coverage for a residential building. We have also partnered with a lot of strategical companies like EDF. We indeed have won the big prize last year of smart energy usage. EDF is the main energy provider in France, the main electricity provider in France. We have also been supported by Kikino Energy, which is a community, a European community, which invests in promising startups related to energy. And we have a very strong partnership with Enria, which is reinventing with us the future cloud. Sorry. More locally, we have partnered with a social landlord, which is Opac 38, and a big university, which is Université Lyon 3 Jean Moulin. So we really believe that the cloud of the future will be energy-free. To help us achieve this mission, we need to hire some experts in system and network architecture. We also need confirmed cloud business developers to help us enhance our sales. And of course, we need some funds to make this mission possible. So if you believe the future cloud will be energy-free, please support us.
Thank you very much. So again, questions from the jury. Jakob first.
One question. So we've seen in Peter's presentation these really nice pictures of these rows of racks. And I imagine every now and then one of those breaks. So I imagine that at Google, this guy goes to his lens, his iris testing, and he just pulls it out, puts it in this shredder, and then he puts a new one in, and there we go. How will this work if the problem is if all your machines are everywhere distributed, and how do you account for in your business case all the maintenance costs and generational change? Imagine they come up with a new generation of racks. How do you take into account all that? How can it be profitable?
Yes, it's a very good question. We have to be a bit imaginative to answer to this question. The key factor is that we have partnership with the main energy distributors. This means that the energy distributors will just have to come to their heating room and change the servers. It's just a simple operation. You unplug the power supply, you unplug the network supply, and then you remove the servers, and they replace the servers we would have provided them beforehand. Does it answer the question? So yes, it's not horizontal, then it's vertical, but it's the only change.
Okay.
So the question, two questions. One, how does your hardware cost compare? How does your hardware cost compare with the existing hardware for a heating system? Number one. Number two, what about the communication networks for the distributed data center? How are you going to be able to, what type of ecosystem needs to be evolved, or is there already the communication infrastructure that can take advantage of the distributed network?
Okay, so we are using, we are not using a specific hardware. We are using existing hardware like Dell servers. It's what we have been using for our first installation. And on the second point, so the hardware will be the same cost as in typical data centers. And the second point, we are using the existing network infrastructure, which in France aims at installing optical fiber up to 100% of the buildings by 2022.
What's the current status?
I think it's something like 30, I would say 30%.
So your number of 100% recycling energy assumes that hot water is needed. But as we move to round-the-clock computing with deferrable workloads and yield management to maximize utilization, you're going to be heating water at 2 a.m. when nobody needs it. Now, some of that is kind of capped right because water has a specific heat that retains that, but it still seems like there's loss. So do you have a sense of actually the real figure that's less than 100%?
Yes, it's 100% because we size our water tank just to be able to store all the heat, even the heat generated during the night.
Good answer.
So this might be a slightly different kind of question, because have you actually thought about doing it the other way around? That is, not competing with the infrastructure, because there seems to be a few big companies doing infrastructure, and actually do this on a more of a private cloud, even though I guess we learned that there are no private clouds. But but do you understand, I mean, you actually have this installed at a company where you could actually take advantage of the hot water?
I'm not sure of the question, but what I would say is that our value is through our partnership, like the big energy provider companies, which make us different and make us solid, robust.
Okay. Okay. One last question. Arnaud, please. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do you have a proprietary heat exchanger technology?
Yes, we have a patent pending right now, and we are waiting for the study.
Okay, now there's time for one more very quick question and answer.
Okay. I just want to understand, why do you want to connect to all the data centers? I mean, the other problem is hard enough, so why do you want to do both?
Yes, it's a good question. I mean, we have a competitive advantage in our infrastructure and a competitive advantage behind our distributed data center. So just one small layer of software would enable us to have a bigger market, but maybe we have to fine-tune this idea.
Okay, thank you very much. And now, give it up for him once again, please. So now, 3 more pitches to go. The next one is Testfabrik from Germany, which seems to be a hard word for me to pronounce. This is going to be represented by Bernd, and yes, so as soon as he's finished, I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, hello, I'm Bernd Pohl from Testfabrik from Germany, and I'm really glad to present you WebMate, our groundbreaking tool for the automatic testing of web applications. Well, I think every one of you knows web applications. They are everywhere, everyone knows them, everyone buys things via important web applications from Dell, from Apple, from flight companies and all that. But it's not only those big companies, you know, it's also thousands of small companies who sell their products via the internet and who depend on their web page. So they all face one question. Does my site work on all relevant browsers, platform, and operating systems? And this is a real problem. Beside all standards, we really have a lot of browsers, a lot of different versions, a lot of different platforms the web pages run on, and even worse, we have multiple devices where all these web pages run. So it's a real big problem in industry and for all the companies, which costs up to 50% of the costs of web development are for testing. So this is really a lot of money which is in the development process. So how can you avoid crashes and test your applications? There is one half possibility, a half solution. You can say, okay, we just support some browsers. But this is not the best solution because you lose customers. Every customer with another browser is not your customer, and in the competition in the internet, the next competitor is just one click away. So there might be a better solution for that problem. And this solution is even better than the machine on this picture. This solution is WebMate. It's a software which works in the cloud, and it's quite easy to use for developers. You open WebMate, give in your URL, the page you want to examine, and then you select the browsers you want to compare, and after that, WebMate does all the work in the cloud. This sounds very easy, but in fact, behind it's quite complicated because we developed this on the software engineering chair in Saarbrücken from Professor Seller. And what we do is a complex kind of state exploration behind. We learn the application, we learn everything what happens on this application. We build a model out of it, a quite complicated model. And after that, we replay this model on the different browsers and we get you a dynamic report. This is a bit simplified, but it shows what happens. We can show you in what browser, for example, you have what problems. You can see that. You can crawl through the report and see all the problems you have, and we give more detailed information, of course, so that your developers can change it and can find these errors very, very quickly. So because of the huge demand for this technology, we already founded a company some months ago. Here is a small greeting from our team from Saarbrücken. We are already 9 people, 4 founders, 4 people who already work with us. We have trademarks concerning WebMate and the Testfabrik, already won some awards and have this one groundbreaking tool. And even more important, we have a clear business model. We have two customer groups. We have a cloud service for all the developers, freelancers, and small web agencies all over the world who just want to go to the cloud, say, here's my web page, just check it for $20 or one-shot analysis or recurring pages, however. And it's very simple and very easy. And we're going to start this in July. And on the other hand, and this is quite important because it gives the company a good stable basis, these are the big companies which have individual demands, which are not able to use WebMate in the cloud. You can't go to a bank and say, here, test your bank application in the cloud. It doesn't work. So we have a lot of big companies which have special demands. We already have Coburg and Cosmos. These are 2 of the biggest insurance companies in Germany. They're already our customers. And we talk to all the other which are here and even a lot more of them. So we have a clear business model, and we have some more points for the future. Because with our algorithm, we are able to do mobile testing, of course. We are able to do security testing in further steps and regression testing. These are all points which are very important in the development of web applications. So in the end, we have one team, we have one vision for a better internet, and you can check it out at webmate.io. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So again, questions from the jury. Jakob.
A question, you say you have these two services. You have a cloud service and you have your individual service. How are you going to make sure that by actually striving to make money with your individual ones, you're actually missing the mark of becoming a truly SaaS company and becoming sort of a high-end testing consulting company that uses an intelligent tool?
Well, it's always a difficult gap, and I can't answer this question completely till the end, but what we see in the last months is that it's very important to learn from the big companies to develop the solution for the rest of the world, as I can say. And I'm quite sure that it's possible to do it parallel. Maybe there are times when one way is better and times when the other way is better. At the moment, we start with the big customers because the other one is just in the closed beta. But I think concerning to the money, we will have across that we have in 1 year, we will have more SaaS clients and just part of the local clients, because this does not scale like the other one. But I think it's possible to do it both, and I think it's more stable.
Okay. So very well presented. I think it's a very complex issue, simplified, clearer product positioning. My question is, what's going to be the impact of this award? You can organically grow your company. There's going to be good revenue models coming up, and there is clearly a need for this market. And you already have the necessary team and the infrastructure and the product. What's going to be the impact of this award?
Oh, just at the moment, we really work on the closed beta, and it's really difficult to be behind there. And it's a bit the question from before, because we now serve already big customers, and we don't have the time to do the product, so we need more people. We need more money, more people to do both of them. So at the moment we need even more than what we get from this award. We are already talking in the financial rounds, but we see a huge market, and we try to find the right way to focus on the first market points there.
So I have a few questions and comments, one of which is, I always find like multiple brands confusing. Like when I use my Windows Live ID to log into Hotmail to get to exchange.com, and I can't figure out what it is. So first question is just, why do you have multiple brands? Is it some grand strategic outlook where you'll have kind of multiple services eventually, or just confused?
Yeah, what we plan is that we have the company which is the test fabric. But under the company, we will try to develop several products. We don't want to be a one product company with webmate.io, but we want to develop more products. For example, as I said, security testing, it will not be webmate.io. It will be a product which is a bit different because there is another focus on this product. So the aim is to have a company, and beside the company, several products with their own product names. So that's
but they're more than products, they're URLs. But anyway, just that's a separate, I guess, piece of advice. The other question I have for you is just around two things. One is user interface. So the whole notion of checking one browser at a time, wouldn't it be more user-friendly to just generate a report that was kind of ordered by browser market share and the severity of the issue?
Okay. Well, it was just an example. What we do is that we generate a report on the demand of the customer. So when you create a new test, you say, okay, for me it's important to check against Internet Explorer 8, 9, 10, Firefox 10, for example. So the customer decides what kind of browsers he wants to check, and that's what he gets in the report afterwards.
Okay, the last question is just around the complexity of understanding all of the issues across all the multiple browsers and its sustainability relative to the revenue stream that you plan on getting or maybe already are getting. It just seems like it could be a great opportunity, right? Because it's better for you to do it once than for an individual customer to have to, each individual customer to have to do it multiple times. But do you feel that the revenue stream associated with that is actually materializing?
Quick answer, please.
I think on long term, the revenue of the scalable product with the small people is of course is better, but I think it's very important to get in the market, to get knowledge of the market really, really quickly and really good. So I think it's really important to get these big customers too, even if it's a bit worse from the revenue.
Okay, so this is it for now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So next one, and the second to last, is Wi-Fix. This is also from Germany, started from Germany, and it will be presented by Michael Heintleimer.
Thanks for the introduction. I'm Michael, representing Team Wi-Fix Video for Wireless, startup project at TU Munich. So I think we all agree that more and more cloud services are going to be used by more and more users, in particular more and more mobile users. So that creates a problem because the link from the users to the cloud actually goes via a base station or an access point, and that is not always as good, as strong as we wish it to have. This is in particular the case for data-hungry services like video. If many people want to watch different videos at the same time, at the same place, the network is overloaded. This is a problem for the content providers because they don't reach the mobile users. This is also a problem for the network operators because they have to deliver huge amounts of data. So this is where we come into play. We have developed a technology that uses the advantage of local storing data at the caches, at the user devices, and broadcast transmission. So the local caches are filled in low traffic phases. In high traffic phases, the users, they want to watch different videos. Because they have already something in their cache, they can be served by a single broadcast transmission. And from what they receive and what they have in their cache, they can decode their individual streams. And this saves data rates, and is in particular peak data rate, which is important for the network operators because this is a determinant factor for their infrastructure investments. So by using the local storage at the user devices, which we basically put into the cloud, we can have some savings here. Where does this technology come from? So this technology is based on our research at TU Munich. And of course, because we're a small startup team and the business we're working in is a pretty hard business, we first need to get credibility to show that this actually works. So we're currently working on a demonstrator platform to show that, first of all, this works, and second of all, to enable this core innovation to work in real networks. The corresponding patent that is related to our technology is currently pending. Who are we? We are a team of 4 people, 3 research and engineers and 1 from the business side. So Andreas Dotzler is our team leader. He has background in wireless communications and is inventor of several patents for LTE. Myself, I'm also a research and engineer from wireless communications, and I'm an expert in reliability for data distribution. Max is our expert for wireless multi-user communication, and Thomas is the one from the business side. He's currently developing our business model. Talking about business model, what is our business model? So we're focusing on the one that is seems to be most promising to us, which is creating, promoting, and licensing IPR. So we want to demonstrate that our technology works and then sell it to network operators, because they can have savings in their investments in infrastructure by using our technology. Well, how much can they save? Well, we calculated a round of infrastructure investments that are necessary in the years to come. So these numbers that you have here are annual worldwide market potential. For commercial Wi-Fi networks, it's around $870 million. And for cellular networks, it's around $1.6 billion. What is the current state? So as I mentioned, we're currently working on the demonstrator platform, which is like very important for us to get credibility. After that is finished, we hope to start a pilot phase with a partner and potential customer. And of course, funding is the biggest issue so far, so we really are struggling there. So of course, that award would help us a lot in finishing the demonstrator platform and finish our vision from enabling this technology for wireless networks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, questions?
Hey, thanks. So, do you have to put software on the device, all the devices themselves?
Yes, you do.
And so that's why you need the operator to help you reach those devices.
So how it would work technically is that you have an application for video streaming that integrates the technology that we have, and you have a software at the base station as well, and these two work together.
Okay, so well, you
Well, I was going to follow up your question, which is to say that, okay, well, in general, aren't you at risk basically of an AJAX type application where the over-the-top provider is doing the predictive caching to avoid bandwidth issues during peak? So, and then how does that then also tie into kind of pay-per-use mobile data plans?
So, if I understand the question correctly, you were asking if we are the same as an over-the-top operator that does some predictive caching?
No, I'm not asking if you're the same, because obviously you're different, but the question is, aren't you at the risk of, in effect, watching your business model vanish because all of the over-the-top players use the same type of approach, which they can pretty easily do, right? The application can cache content ahead of time, and actually YouTube, for example, will know probably better than, say, Vodafone what the most well-liked cat dancing or whatever videos are. So they'll be able to kind of preload it into your device separately and bypass your technology.
Okay, now I understand your question. So one argument that I can give here is that just technology-wise, we can save more. So in that case that you're mentioning, you're only saving if you're accidentally or by chance caching the content that you're going to use afterwards. So in our solution, it's even possible that something you have in the cache which you don't use is still beneficial because there are some other users in the same network. So to explain that in detail, I would need a little bit more time, but there is a technical reason why we think we are better than that.
Probably.
Well, I mean, he wants to go, but just I don't really understand, sort of a BitTorrent peer-to-peer type of architecture just seems like, again, if you can do it, then so can the app, basically. I don't get the distinctive advantage.
So the advantage is that you really have to consider what the users have and what you're really transmitting at the base station. So you need to be like at the lower layer to be able to accomplish what we do.
Okay. Probably. Yeah.
So, you have to load the software in the base station. You have to load the software on the end device. And then you have to, of course, coordinate with the mobile network operators. Aren't you touching upon too many guys who are hard to change and hard to reach? I see a rollout strategy risk here to be able to actually adopt your technology. How would you respond to that?
I mean, it's true that, of course, network operators aren't just the customers that come to you every day. So that is definitely a big challenge for us. But I hope I got your question correctly. So we are really focusing on the network operator, that he can actually offer more video services in his network and use that as an advantage for his network.
Right, but you still have to install the software on the base station, and the network operator is not doing it. You got to go to the vendor for that. And the equipment manufacturer for the base station.
Well, that we can do not at the vendor side, because like software at the base station, that can be also done by the network operator. So if you're high enough in the layers, then you can do that.
Okay.
Well, I guess one question I think Joe touched on that. I mean, when you do background caching, you probably run into problems with data plans. So when the user is ready to view, they probably don't have any megabytes left to.
Yeah. So for the background caches, that of course must be happening in low traffic phases where somehow the data plan is not charged. Or it can also happen because it's running over the application, at the app, at your phone, I mean, or your tablet. It's running, it could run in your home Wi-Fi network during nighttime.
Okay, thank you. Just a very quick one, yeah.
Have you considered any IPR issues with this technology? I mean,
IPR issues, you mean?
Yes, I mean content IPR. I think not everybody might not be happy that their content is distributed in the network.
So that is definitely a challenge that we have on the screen. One thing I can just answer that is that still works if content is our technology still works if content is encrypted, so that you cannot use it.
Okay, so this is it for now. Time's up. Now our last startup for today. One big round of applause for him. And now the last one, which is Espresso Mix from Estonia. And Henrik, once he's ready, he's going to present it.
Hi everybody. I'm Henrik Luuk. I represent Expressomics, and I'm very happy to be here in the finals. I think this is a great event, and I think a lot of people will benefit from it. At Expressomics, we are focused on genomic data analysis in the cloud. So first, just to give you a little bit of background of what we're doing, the biomedical and biotechnology sector is currently experiencing a technological revolution, and it's related to the drop in sequencing cost, what you can see there. So it means that pretty soon we'll be able to sequence almost anything. So doctors can sequence patients, biotech can sequence microbes in the soil to find out better ways of doing biofuels or better ways of producing soils which are richer in nutrients. And in the end of the day, this means that there is an ever-increasing influx of genomic data. And this data needs to be analyzed and made sense of. But sequence itself is not enough, because living organisms are dynamic, and it's actually gene expression which determines the functional state of cells. And to give you a feeling of what it's all about, our eyes, our nose, and our mouth, they look different and they serve different purposes, but the DNA in them is exactly the same. So it means that you need something like a mechanism to make these tissues work in a different way or according to the function, and this is gene expression. So gene expression is the functional aspect of DNA, and this is what we are focusing at in Expressomics. There clearly is a need for bioinformatic analytics, and the need is growing as indicated by the headlines in high-profile journals and by the number of Horizon 2020 calls which are related to bioinformatics. And what is the problem? The problem is the bioinformatics bottleneck. So there simply ain't enough bioinformaticians to be able to analyze all the data what life scientists are producing. There are much more life scientists, and the data is increasing at an exponential rate. So we need better solutions, we need easier solutions to bring analysis closer to the life scientists. And our solution is the gene expression analysis service in the cloud. You will need no programming skills, but you can still run all those fancy algorithms which require high-performance hardware. So this is approximately how large-scale data analytics in science used to look like. You needed to have specialized hardware and also specialists to maintain it. And this is how it looks now. This is actually our service running in the Chrome web browser. So you select data files, you drag and drop them into this window, you select the analysis settings, and you click Run, and in exchange you get back a spreadsheet of annotated expression data. We know our competition, and in this workflow of genomic data analysis, we have positioned ourselves to the upper end, that is expression analysis and meta-analysis of public data. The market, there are around 3 million life scientists, and the bioinformatics market is growing very fast. Our business model is B2C, individual licenses, and we expect in the next 5 years to be able to monetize around 1% of the 3 million life scientists by a yearly subscription fee of 2,000 euros. And as the alternative, we have a private or public cloud for companies which do not like to be exposed in the public infrastructure. We also have feedback from the first users, and they really love it. So we are determined to developing the product further. And as the next step, what we want to do is to make the product data source agnostic, which means that even more life scientists will be able to run their data through our platform and get the results. So to sum it up, if you want to speed up cloud innovation in genomics, then support us. And on the last note, I'm also happy to announce that our team has recently grown, and we have added a front-end engineer and a business and sales manager. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the last round of questions right now. Joe? Yeah.
Just so we don't have to finish 3 minutes early. So I guess the question is, you're combining two competencies, one of which is around the sort of big data infrastructure, and then the other is around the interface and the genomics expertise. To what extent do the big data and cloud specialists like Google, AWS, et cetera, take over the infrastructure function, leaving you as more of a sort of consulting house and or maybe a user interface player that's just built on top of the core, especially given the magnitude of the genomic data sets and the notion that the large cloud providers are offering .gov data for free?
Yes. Our idea is not to focus on this, let's say, on the cloud infrastructure side. We want to focus on the analysis side, and also what I mentioned, the meta-analysis, meaning that storing already annotated data from the, let's say, pre-analyzed data, storing the results from the various experiments, and then being able to execute queries against that data. So we are really trying to focus on the bioinformatic and the interpretation part, and not into so much this infrastructure cloud, the hardware.
Jakob?
Okay, so two-part question. First part, on the algorithms you're saying you want to provide, there's no IT skill necessary to formulate algorithms. I wouldn't know how you can understand an algorithm if you're not able to code it correctly. And that would mean, how do you deal with the fact that researchers will want to invent new ones, will change them? Is that possible in your technically? And my second question is a very simple one. You have a licensing model. Why don't you have anything about linked to the volume of data being processed or the number of runs people make? I pay the same if I do 5 analysis and if I do 500.
Yeah, well, at the moment we're in the very beginning stage, so we have not a clear understanding of the amount of data which is going to flow through the system. But to get back to your first question, at the moment the idea is to offer kind of an end-to-end solution. So you have the algorithm packed into a nice user interface, and this is offered like a template, so people can use it. If you want to change the algorithm, then you really have to reprogram the internals. So, and at the moment we are not offering this kind of infrastructure for putting your own algorithms there, because in the scientific community, it's like if a new algorithm comes along, maybe in 1 year, nobody wants to use the one which used to be there. So it's changing quite fast, but at one moment, I think it will be also in bioinformatics that some fields will mature. So there will be some algorithms which are well studied, well accepted, and I think these will be the methods of choice for the life scientists who are actually interested in getting the results and not inventing new algorithms.
Okay, thank you very much. So please give it up for Hendrik once again. So now, before you all run out of the room, give it up for all 9 of our finalists today. Once again, please, big round of applause. And then, now I don't want to be in the shoes of our jury here, but they will come up with the 3 winners actually until tomorrow at 5:15 p.m. in this room. For now, I would like to thank the audience and our judges, of course, a lot. And what we want to do now is take pictures of our finalists and the jury up here. And maybe Sharp and Willem, you can come up here as well, since you're here.
And for the rest of the participants who are not concerned by this group picture, we invite you to go to follow the signs to the bus park that will take you to the castle of Apigné for our reception.